Okay, camera's working. Good deal. Hello, everybody. It is Dakota, and it's time for a review. This will be an unedited review because I don't have my setup yet, but hopefully by the end of next week, or the week we're going into now, I will have my normal rig up and running, so I'm very excited about that. But it's time for my thoughts and a little bit of a review on the new DJ Esco and Future project, Esco Terrestrial. DJ Esco, I really don't know who he is aside from the guy that was dancing in the Where You At video. But he's a DJ, obviously, and is cool with Future. And him and Future dropped this project a couple nights ago, titled Esco Terrestrial. And it's listed, depending on where you look at it. Some places says it's Esco featuring Future. Some places says it's an Esco and Future project, and that's really what it is, basically. But it's 16 tracks of trap music, basically. Future kind of creating a niche for himself with the more melodic, auto-tune, kind of strip club friendly rap that doesn't really sound too original right now, but as much as I don't care for Future's music, I can admit that Future was one of the pivotal figures in paving the way for some of the artists that are relevant now, like Ray Shrimmer and Young Thug and Lil Yachty, and a handful of others, Nestle that I talked about in the last video, all that. But this project came out, and I was like, I really don't want to listen to that, because I've never been a huge Future fan. Future has a few songs that I do like. He's done a few hooks that I like on some features, but Future has just always had the same lyrical content, and it's the same stuff of showing off your money, sipping codeine, moving drugs. I mean, pretty much the typical trap theme, and aside from that, just being really blunt about his promiscuity with various women. It's never really been my thing. I'll say that. And when one of the bigger projects that came out last year, What a Time to Be Alive, when it dropped, I listened to it because I had really been digging what Drake was putting out last year. He had a really good string of material last year, and so I thought this would be interesting. A lot of Metro Boomin production with Drake, and Future's input on this will be interesting. And I listened to it, and it was a huge disappointment for me. Not only because I thought Future, even for Future standards, was subpar on this, and Drake kind of tried to match Future instead of being his normal Drake self, whatever that is. But this came out, and I listened to it not knowing what to expect, not thinking that I would like it, and I can say that I am very wrong. This is probably, no, not probably. This is for the couple months that I've been back home, and keep in mind I've only listened to probably about 10, 11, maybe 9 or 10 mixtapes. This is my favorite mixtape of the year so far, and I can't believe it. This project, first of all, the beats on this thing, oh my goodness. Some of my favorite productions on here. The intro right away, I like the intro beat. I like the different sound clips that were being played here, and it kind of set up a theme for this. With the album art, with the title, with the intro, kind of set up like it was going to be a concept album or a concept mixtape, and it didn't really go in that direction. But I like the intro nonetheless. I really do. I love the beat on the intro. The Check On Me beat was okay, but some of my favorite ones on here, My Blower, Too Much Sauce, I really enjoyed that beat a lot. I like track number 12, Thought Ho. Well, I don't like what was being talked about. I did love the beat on that. Champagne Showers was pretty good. And some interesting, I don't know if Future's done this a lot because I don't listen to Future that much, but from what I've heard, he hasn't done. On the songs Married to the Game and Benjamin's Burn, a little bit of more soulful sampling in there still with trap 808s and snares and things like that. But pretty much every beat on this thing is good. 100 Racks, Who, Too Much Sauce, Party Pack, Juice. They're all really good. Metro Boomin's on here, Southside on the Tracks on here, 808 Mafia. There's just a lot of really good production on this thing. So the beats, of course, are, I think, and I did enjoy the beats that are on Dirty Sprite too. I will say that. I haven't heard much of the songs, but I've heard the instrumentals from it. And I think for what Future does for picking trap instrumentals, he does a really good job of that, but I feel like this one he did a little bit better of a job than he did on What a Time to Be Alive. So yeah, the beats are fantastic. Now, as far as lyrics goes, it's the usual Future stuff. But for whatever reason, I felt like Future, for the most part, was a lot more understandable. I felt like he was enunciating just a little bit more. I don't know, for some reason, this thing was just so much more tolerable than past Future projects that I've listened to. Aside from a couple tracks like, Thought Ho, which I don't even like saying that, so let's call it track 12. Track 12 and track number 3 Right Now. Those are like the only two I didn't enjoy. When it goes to topics like that, where it just talks about betting whatever and whoever is willing to sleep with you and how you think that's an amazing life. I mean, do you, but it's just not something that I can relate to. It's not something that I want to hear about. But the other stuff he usually raps about, bands of money and partying and turning up and all the Future stuff. But I just like it so much more for some reason on this, and I feel like there's a little bit more depth to some of Future stuff, especially like on songs like Who. I really like that. Like I said, Married to the Game and Benjamin's Burn. Those were a little bit more introspective, not crazy introspective, but it's more than what we usually get out of Future, which I enjoyed. Champagne Shower was cool. Check on Me, not really anything too deep or thought provoking, but I like Check on Me, man. Future had some really catchy hooks on this one. I gotta check on me right now. Look at that rolling. Whatever he's saying. 100 bands dancing out the rocker. 100 bands dancing out the rapper. 100 bands coming out the rapper. I don't know. I just love it. Now, the other thing I want to talk about on this project that I really enjoyed were the features on this. The features are really good, and I didn't know what to expect. With the Drake and 2 Chainz thing, because Drake's Views album, but the stuff he was doing last year was really good. What a Time to Be Alive was not something I enjoyed, but for whatever reason, 100 Racks with Drake and 2 Chainz, one of my favorite tracks on here. I really like 2 Chainz verse. The way it ends is kind of goofy, but that's 2 Chainz. I feel like this is a lot better than his Trapavelli Trade tape that came out last August. Drake did good. The only line that really made me kind of shake my head was "She texts us like Dallas," but Drake, very simple, just little boop boop spurts of one-liners sprinkled throughout his verse. Not too anything. I switch hands off balance. I liked it. The Juicy J feature, I think, was probably my favorite feature on this whole project. I thought Juicy J really delivered on My Blower. I thought that was really good. I enjoyed it. Loved the beat. I think that's probably one of my top 5 tracks on this thing. Lil Uzi Vert, surprisingly tolerable on this thing. Vert is hit or miss with me, man. It's either like, okay, yeah, like this bangs, or dude, this is boring and stereotypical. But I thought Vert came through with a pretty decent feature, considering the collaboration, interesting collaboration there. And Young Thug. I love Young Thug. I have no idea why I love Young Thug, because you would think that would be someone that I hate, considering I don't really care for Future, or Lil Uzi Vert, or Nestle, or pretty much anyone else that's in this vein of hip-hop. But Young Thug as usual, delivered a verse with his unique sound. I thought he did really good on the hook on this one. The only features I really didn't care for on this project, the first one being Rambo's so weird. He's a little bit too much for me on this project. I think he would sound good on something, just not this. He's a little too turnt for the beat he was on. Kind of sounds like a little bit more toned down mystical, but not feeling that. Stupidly Crazy with Cassie Veggies and Nef the Pharaoh, wasn't feeling that too much. And the Ray Shrimmered, while it wasn't my favorite, I liked it more than the other two. It's not anything that is crazily impressive. It's not anything that I'm like really feeling. It's kind of like I can go or take it or leave it. But Champagne Showers, while I do really like that song, I had no idea Rich Homie Quan was featured on this, because Rich Homie Quan and Future on this track, they sound just alike. It all sounds like Future, and that's not an exaggeration. I mean, if that might offend Rich Homie Quan and or Future fans. If you're hardcore and you can tell the difference, okay, good for you. These are not two artists that I listen to a lot. I think on this track they sound just alike. But that's all I've got to kind of say about Esco Terrestrial. This project has made me rethink listening to Future's music. I need to go and actually listen to Dirty Sprite too. While I think What a Time to Be Alive is, I'll still probably have the same opinions on it. Want to go back and listen to it? Maybe I need to give it another shot. And maybe it's just Future and Drake together that I don't really like. At least not that much of Future and Drake. But overall in this project, this is my favorite mixtape that's come out so far. Most of it is for the production, but I don't know. I felt like Future was just really into this project, and I think he came through. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot, and this has a lot of replay value for me. I've been listening to it pretty much all day, and I'm honestly feeling a B+ on this thing, surprisingly. But yeah, Esco Terrestrial, DJ Esco, and Future, great project. If you like trap, rap, check it out. Future fans, of course, you're gonna enjoy it. If you like, good production, if you're a beat maker. I think you would enjoy some of the production on here. But yeah, good job, and shouts out to everyone who came through the good feature, and DJ Esco for mixing it all together. And solid mixtape, man, solid mixtape.